It's a Cigar Saturday that I know you all have been looking forward to for quite a long time. It's actor, wrestler Gene Snitsky joining us from Pennsylvania. And tonight, co-host Matty Rock has quite a backdrop that he usually doesn't have. He's joining us from Atlantic City. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good. How you doing, buddy? I don't. Did you get a permit for the show for those guns, Tom?
I did.
Yeah, huge.
These guns?
Oh,
look at that. You have to have a permit for those, don't you? Yes.
I do. My wife carries it in her purse.
I wish what's the howitzers.
Is she told she has to show that permit very often, or is she
only when she wants to see the gun show?
Yeah, baby.
Well, hey,
Michael Myers is alive, dude. Look at
that's the Halloween safety shirt. What do you?
I don't have any pants on, so I'm not trying to get in the bottom part of my body. I don't want to get this into like an X-rated film or anything.
It's the year of Zoom calls. You're fine. So
usually when I'm doing porn, I'm wearing a mask, but don't tell anybody.
Well, as always, it's great to have everybody. We have a lot of guests who join us, or a lot of viewers who join us from week to week. So thank you all for always coming back to Matty and I with our Cigar Saturday. Like this, share this video. Feel free to ask questions to Snitsky. And what's happening? What's happening in Pennsylvania, Snitsky? What's been going on with you?
Well, I just got home from the shop. Got Priority 1 surplus. We're rocking and rolling. Busy day here at the shop. Plugging the movie 100 Acres of Hell came out last October.
Yeah.
Had the big premiere at the Angela Theater in Pennsylvania here by where I grew up. It was my hometown theater, so I wanted to do a nice big premiere. That went really well. We recently just got picked up by Walmart. We're at walmart.com and all the streaming services as well. Indican Pictures is our distributor. Yeah, everything's going good, man. I got a great wife, great life. The dungeon's getting bigger and bigger every day. We just got some more weights, a couple more machines, and just doing it big up here in Pennsylvania. Trying to maintain the physique because my wife pushes me to the limit every day. She's jacked. If anybody follows me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, they know that my wife's like a 6'1" Wonder Woman type physique. She's pretty jacked, so I gotta do my best to keep up with her.
I never raise my voice around her. I don't want to get my ass kicked. Not by you, by her.
She's my bodyguard.
No, she's Matty.
She just posted a video of doing some shrugs the other day. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it hurt me watching them while I was having Doritos, Cool Ranch. But it was painful.
I think she might have been eating Doritos in between sets. I'm just saying.
I hear.
Oh, cheesy one. She's very cheesy.
Matty, usually we're not used to this backdrop. Tell us what do you have going on there? What takes you to Atlantic City?
So today we had a little bit of business to attend to in Atlantic City that, quite honestly, did not go to expectation. But the good thing is I got to see a bunch of friends I haven't seen in a while, and this is going to Atlantic City was like my trip of the year to tell you how really down state of affairs are in New Jersey. So that was like my trip of the year. Everything's open at about 25% capacity. Why are you laughing, G? You're supposed to love me.
My wife's being silly over there. She's doing inappropriate things that we can't talk about.
Oh my! Did you tell her that you have the 3D camera behind her that she can't see? No?
Hold on. I have my scratch and sniff beard right here. This is a G-rated show or PG or what are we allowed to do on this show?
You just be yourself is what we always say. We're just glad to have you as.
Oh, jeez.
Glad to have you as you. And this movie you're talking about, tell us a little bit about the movie. So it's been out just for a little while, and you mentioned where we could find it, but tell us about the movie and what was the experience like working on it?
Well, a partner of mine and myself, Jason Kerner, I had this epiphany for this movie. A friend of mine's dad owns this elk ranch, and went out to take a view at the ranch one day, and I was like, man, be a freaking awesome place for a horror movie. And I've always had the idea in the back of my mind about doing like an old school slasher, throwback to the 80s slasher films. Ironically, I have my Halloween shirt on, babysitting safety and all that good stuff. But actually, Friday the 13th was more of an inspiration for this film. I did a convention years ago in Atlantic City, of all places, where Matty is right now.
Right.
And met up with Victor Miller, who actually wrote the screenplay for the original Friday the 13th. Great guy, into cigars, as a matter of fact. We should tag him on this eventually. But anyways, so I got to talk with him, and I'm like, hey, man, huge fan of the film. One of my probably my all-time favorite horror movie. I actually just got, honey, go grab the Camp Crystal Lake sign. My wife and I just did a little Halloween shop, and we decorate the house with Halloween stuff and Batman stuff because we're just grown-up teenagers, basically. So, Victor, I love you, buddy. If you're out there, this is the Camp Crystal Lake sign that I just got. Nice. And makes a good beard holder, too. So, yeah, we're big into the horror film scene. My wife and I love horror. But like I was saying, talked to Victor. I said, hey, I got this idea for the screenplay. Love to run it by you. He's like, yeah, sure. So, sent him the screenplay. He read it. Give me some feedback on it. Loved the story. Loved the feel of it. Actually, he did a promotional video for us to promote the film at one point when we were doing the fundraising. And can't say enough great things about him. But anyways, so him and I sat on the boardwalk in Atlantic City smoking a cigar talking about the film. So always wanted to do a throwback slasher film. Like I said, it's, just always been my favorite type of film. Halloween, Friday the 13th, two of my all-time favorites. So to make a long story short, I invited my buddy Jason, my business partner Jason Kerner, up to my house. We sat on my deck, smoked a couple cigars, bullshitted, talked about the synopsis for the film, what we wanted to do, what we thought would be cool as a homage. That word always makes me chuckle. Homage. There's a homage to Friday the 13th. So if you watch our film, it's there's a formula for these kind of films. Everybody knows that. It's not rocket science, but it is freaking awesome. Everybody likes to get scared. Everybody likes to be scared. Everybody had that moment where they're in the middle of the woods taking a piss and they hear things. And they're like, what the hell? Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's done that. As a human being, that's just like a natural reaction when you hear a noise and you don't know what it is, you get scared. So we took that formula, we ran with it, but a lot of people don't know it, but it's actually based loosely on my life. I had my brother who passed away unexpectedly at a young age, and I got real depressed about it. He was my only brother. And so I wanted to do like 60-40, where it was 60% like based on true actual facts and 40% just following the structure of the 80s slasher film. So if you sit and watch the credits at the end of the movie, there's a big thing at the end, dedicated to my brother Derek and all that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, him and I, he was my younger brother, and like I said, passed away early. I got a tattoo on my leg, the 1-year anniversary of his passing. He was in the Dragons and Skulls and all that kind of stuff. So got a custom tattoo made for him there.
Nice. Very nice.
And so we came up with the synopsis for the film, created the characters. Our antagonist would be the amazing Jeb Tucker. So he's the guy chopping up people and smashing people in sleeping bags and all that good stuff. We've come up with a lot of really cool ways to kill people, believe it or not. I didn't want to make it like, no offense to Saw or any of that kind of stuff, but that's like so technical, and there's games and you got to do this and you got to do that. And it's like, it gets a little hard if you're not like staying with the story. But like ours is basically just people getting crushed by rocks, bashed off with sleeping bags, chopped up with like axes. Like tried to keep it as what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, geez, how about a brain fart? As simplistic as possible, like where you're using stuff just laying around. But yeah, it was fun, man. We had a lot of good locations. We filmed a lot of it in Atlantic City, actually, and filmed some of it in South Tamaulipa, Pennsylvania. One of my personal trading clients at the time, her grandfather owned the property, and she was like, "Hey, I think I got because the original guy that the story was based off of on his property, he ended up being a little gun shy at the last minute. So then I had to find another property. But my one personal training client, she's like, "Oh yeah, you got to see my grandfather's place. You'll love it." I'm like, "All right." So we take a ride over there, and it's literally the fight scene that you see in all the old cars and all that crazy like rustic stuff is just how it was. And I got out of the car and I walked over and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so." It actually ended up being a blessing in disguise because it was actually even a better location than the original one. So it turned out perfect, man. If you see the movie, you'll understand. Like, it's so creepy and so just like scary. And that's exactly how it is to this day. I took my wife over. We revisited it during the day because you don't want to go at night because Jim Tucker might be. But anyways, so I brought her over and we, just reminisced. It was cool, man. It's a cool spot. It's only like 15 minutes from my house. So if I ever get the urge to like see it or reminisce, I'll just shoot right by. It's cool, being so close to home like that.
Bring a bus of people up, maybe kill them, act it out. Yeah, we get you.
Well, there's a lot of old coal mines here in Pennsylvania. Not that I'd ever kill anybody, but if I did, I surely know where to hide the bodies. So.
Possible? Did
I just say that out loud?
Just a joke.
So this movie you can find, especially for the Halloween season, you can find it everywhere. Is there a good place to point people to learn more about the movie, Snitsky, or is it
Well, we have the website, which is 100acresofhell.com.
Okay.
You can check that out. We have the trailer on there. You can watch it on all the streaming services. Like I said, Walmart.com just picked up the actual film, so you could order it if you'd like to buy a copy of it. It's on Walmart.com. Or you could go through Indican Pictures website. They also have it available for sale. If anybody does buy one and wants to send it to me, I'll gladly autograph it for them. Yeah, we love the fans. I love all my fans. Wrestling, movies. I've never passed up an autograph. I've never passed up a picture. I was just taking pictures tonight at the shop with some fans that came in to do some shopping. So I'm not one of those guys that was, got some fame and forgot about where he came from. I love my fans. I'll never, avoid my fans or not talk to my fans or none of that kind of stuff. If it wasn't for the fans, there'd be no Snitsky. So I'm very gracious. I'm a small town guy. I love entertaining people. I love, the attention. I love just putting smiles on people's faces. It's cool to be able to have that power to change someone's mood or their outlook on life. It's crazy. Like, I've had people, "Oh man, you were so this or so that." And, I'll never forget it. Like that's crazy to me. Like that I have that effect on people. It's nuts. Because I'm just a small town guy from Nesquehoning, Pennsylvania, a town of 3,000, one stoplight. But I was always the same guy that would tell people when I was 14, 15, I'm going to either be on Monday Night Raw or you'll see me on Sunday playing in the NFL or I'm doing some type of horror movie or running through the woods chasing somebody. You never know. But I always had big dreams, man. I came from a small town, but I have really big dreams, and there's a lot more I want to do and a lot more I'm going to do. But, just dream big, man. Life's too short.
I like that. I like that approach. And as you grew up, you always knew you wanted to do this. And you really just followed that.
Yeah, I've well, like I said, since I'm a kid, I loved horror movies. Loved like we'd go out in the yard and put a blanket over, like from the boat to the ledge of the porch, and you'd like sleep out. You'd hear things, and you'd be like, "Ah!" It's just cool. Like where I grew up, you could do stuff like that and not have to worry about it. Like we'd put a tent in the yard and just like either do that or like put blankets out and just like hang out and like listen to the little we had the little boom boxes. We didn't have the big ones like Matty Rock has, those crazy big giant
the bump boxes.
Yeah. So, with the cassette player and you could listen to like Ozzy, it's just like it was so cool growing up where I grew up. Like small town USA gets a knock, but I'm glad I grew up there, man. I love Nesquehoning. I love the coal region. A lot of cool history here with the coal mines, and Summit Hill is actually where they discovered coal. So it's kind of cool. It's like 5 miles from my house. And there's a big giant piece of coal right in the middle of town. They did it big, man. Back in those days, the guys were tough. Not like today where they're soft. Those guys were tough. But my dad was a breaker boy. My grandfather died of black lung. What's that?
I said I saw you looking a little bit harder on me when you said soft. I don't think I appreciated that.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's a hardworking area. It's I'm proud to come from there. I've always liked the history of the area. I took my wife to the Lansford No. 9 Mine Museum this summer. We did the mine tour, which is freaking awesome. If anybody's ever out in Lansford or passing through that area, make sure you stop and check that out. It's freaking awesome. There's a lot of good, good history, heritage type stuff. Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. That's a lot of people don't even realize it, but Jim Thorpe is where the original roller coasters started. They had the coal mine that ran from Summer Hill down to Jim Thorpe on the Switchback Railroad, and that's what all the modern day roller coasters were modeled after. And yeah, man, the history of the area is just crazy. And like, I'll go over there. Me and the wife will go over and we'll like try to find the spots and try to find Mount Pisgah Plain and all that kind of stuff. It's just cool. And there's a lot of history in the area, like with Asa Packer Mansion. He wanted to start Lehigh University in Jim Thorpe, but they gave him a hard time, so he started it in Allentown. Just think, man, Lehigh University could have been in Jim Thorpe. That's crazy. A lot of cool history in the area, man. If you guys ever get a chance, check it out. Matty's been out here.
I would love to see
my house. He's smoked a couple cigars with me over the years.
Yep. What type of cigars? Do you have any favorite cigars that you like as far as expressions or bold, medium? What do you like to smoke, Snitsky?
Honestly, any of the Drew Estate line, man. Matty got me hooked on those years ago, and I've never really swayed from that. Every once in a while, I'll smoke like maybe a Gurkha or a Diesel or something. But for the most part, when you look at my humidor, it's mostly all
Sorry, bro.
all the good Drew Estates.
Right on. No, they're great. And I know Matty. What are you smoking tonight?
Give me 1 second, man. I'm doing my.
Take your time. Take your time. And again, Matty is he's in quite a happening place there in Atlantic City with the Harris behind him. I am actually Snitsky. I'm having a Year of the Rat Liga there tonight.
Nice.
With some of the Peerless Rye whiskey. I'm cracking into one of their single barrels. It's actually called Toffee and Tobacco because the notes on this single barrel actually have the notes of toffee and tobacco. And it's just incredible.
I just did my good deed for the day.
Say what? What's that? Go ahead, Matty.
Somebody wanted money for coffee, so I gave them 50 cents for coffee.
That was good of you.
Welcome to Atlantic City.
That was that's good that you had 50 cents on you. That's good. Which one are you smoking, Matty?
All right, today we got a little Cuba Deluxe action going on today.
Oh, nice.
Cuba Acid, very nice. And what are you pairing that with?
All right, so since today I knocked out a couple of stronger sticks and decided to go light and sweet this evening, I thought the perfect pairing would be. Oh, nice.
Black cherry.
What do you got there?
While we're plugging drinks, I mean, this is my buddy Aaron Muller's new product, 1675. It's maple flavored whiskey. He just gave it to me this week.
Very nice. How is it?
I don't know. I didn't drink any yet. It's still bottled or still sealed. I just got it. But you guys were showing off your stuff, so I was like, well, hell, I might as well plug my buddy's stuff,
You feel like cracking the seal?
I don't.
Not yet. Okay.
But I'm gonna put it right here. We're gonna
put it there. It's called 1675 Maple Whiskey.
It'll be a different episode.
I can't wait to try that. And again, what state is it from? Is it from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, man. Right on. It's one of the oldest buildings in Pennsylvania. It's right on Bensalem. It's at the 1675 Spirits, Bensalem, PA. It's like the oldest highway in Pennsylvania they're on. There's a lot of cool history backstory to it. Check out their website.
Oh,
tell them Snitsky
75 Spirits. All right, we got to check that out.
If they don't respond, it's not my fault. They will. They'll get back to you. Aaron's a good dude, man. Aaron, if you watch the film, Aaron is the pilot of the helicopter. His family owns the airport over here, so I called in a couple favors, and he was my pilot for the helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah. He's up for an Academy Award, I think I heard.
Very nice. No, it's always fun learning about different, new craft whiskeys to try. That sounds amazing. There's a lot of great whiskeys coming out, and that's interesting that it has the maple in it, so we'll have to give that a try. 1675 Spirits, right? 1675 Spirits.
Correct. It's 1675spirits.com.
All right, I'm going to check it out, Aaron. I'm going to come look for some of that, and Great to have so many good people watching. And again, a few people have asked about Snitsky's movie. I put the website right down there, 100 Acres of Hell. Check that out. And that way we can make sure people watch the trailer. Freddie says Matty has a nice ash going there. I know Freddie. Freddie, it's good to see you watching. And then Shad, actually, as a transition, as you were mentioning coffee, a very special opportunity we have tonight for everybody watching is if you like this video and you share it, because I see a lot of people already, you got to do two things. It's a two-step. Like it on Twitter or Facebook, and the next step is share it. And if you do that, we're going to put you in the running in about 30 minutes. We're going to draw the name, a random number, and whoever comes up for that entry gets a free bag of coffee that's been bourbon barrel aged from Shad's company, Janus Roasters there in Wyoming. So start liking, start sharing, and the coffee's the best in the world. It's so good, Shad. We appreciate you doing this each week to help us out, and great appearing with Aliga. It'll be an amazing pairing if you get that bag of coffee. It seems like we did have a question from somebody for Snitsky. I'm going to go back through here. Someone was asking about, ask Snitsky how the Eagles are doing.
You know, that.
Let's not talk about that.
I don't know
They're
what
not
that
doing
means.
very good this year. But on a side note, I was at the Super Bowl when they won the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Me and Muller, the guy who has the whiskey place, me and him and another guy drove all the way out there in his RV to have 2 flat tires, get stuck in Minneapolis, and make a 16-hour trip in 27 hours. But the Eagles won. Yeah, so it was a good thing. If they would have lost, we might have drove that RV right off a cliff.
I would still say the calls when I called you were still rather cranky.
Dude, that was like the trip from hell. But the Eagles won, so it wasn't too bad. Sorry, I'm keep moving on you guys. I'm trying to get a good.
No, it's all right.
I'm not used to this triple screen stuff. But I'm trying to get strategic placement on my stuff.
He's kind of in the sandwich between Matty and us. If you have any questions for Snitsky, definitely tweet them, ask them. So good to have so many great people watching every week. As far as somebody asked about other movies you might be working on, any other movies that we might see you work on in the near future, or any other projects? I see Batman.
We're trying to get, obviously the sequel for our movie, because we have it already, a synopsis for it. But obviously that all depends on how this film does. So we're trying to, get this film up and out there as much as possible. And then we'll take it from there. But that's the plan. Try to get a sequel for this one. And I have a couple others in the back of my mind that I'd like to do that are, pretty controversial story-wise. And I don't know. We'll see if the world's ready for that yet. One involves a priest. Let's just put it that way.
Is it another horror film?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sort of, kind of.
Might be.
I still think the most.
I'll give you a quick synopsis.
Let's hear it.
If anybody steals this idea, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna punch you like I kicked that baby on wrong. So I have this one in the back of my mind. It's called "Forgive Me, Father," and it's about a priest who molested all these altar boys, and then the one altar boy ended up turning into a serial killer, and he only kills priests because of that.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, Paul, you just said that, and oddly, I have an incoming call from the Vatican.
Nice.
It happened that quick. They're watching. They're watching the same thing.
It's no secret they like little boys. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They're watching all three of us right now. That's why. They watch Matty and I every week. It's what happens.
Yeah, they just text it. They said it is your fault now. They're like it's that. No, it is your fault.
Hey, what happens after you drink that wine with a priest?
Anybody in mind who would, if you had one pick of who would play that priest, who would it be?
Probably Matty Rock. He has a priest outfit. Don't let him fool you. He's got every other goddamn outfit.
He may have one. He has some pretty cool suits. And do you have a priest outfit? I may not seen you in that yet.
No. That's one bit of role play that's frowned upon in the Rock household. not. What?
I swear I saw you running around like a priest at Cigar Fest. I'm telling you.
Oh my! Well, that's the one place I haven't gone yet.
That's
Let's see
great.
where else I could get banned from.
He does have some pretty cool duds there, some pretty cool suits. Yeah,
Oh, I know.
that
The rabbit. What the hell was the rabbit one you had on that time?
Oh yeah, that was great. When so Gene showed up, we had an event over at Leaf, Famous Leaf in Easton, and one wouldn't think that they make funny suits for people that are 6'3" and 250 pounds, mostly because there shouldn't be funny suits for people.
It fit tight in all the right spots.
I mean, shit, I felt sexy. I'm just saying. Or horrifying.
I still haven't got my ashtray either. Trevor Jones, if you're watching, I want my goddamn ashtray.
Trev, dude, what's up? Not Trev.
Still.
Text. Yeah. Oh,
I
look,
want a
K-Mac.
big Drew Estate ashtray, and it's freaking at Trevor Jones's house.
Dude, read right here. Look who's taking care of you. Wait, I have to point in this direction.
You always do, dude.
K-Mac has got you. Read that.
That's funny. Kevin McCormick says J.K. Simmons with a full beard would make a good evil priest.
The beards are hot, man. Chicks think the beard.
Thanks for watching. A lot of great people watching. Okay, here's another question for you, Snitsky. What was the wrestling match that is your most memorable and one that you think about and laugh about or just remember in a good way?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. Probably not one that people would think, but I was wrestling Stevie Richards one time, and he had long hair. And I stepped to get him and grab him and pull him up, but I stepped on his hair. And as I was pulling him up, a big clump of his hair came up. So we used to joke around about that all the time, that I ripped the hair right out of his head. Nothing too crazy, but that's the first one that pops into my head. But I had a lot of good matches and a lot of good times with everybody. But that, obviously the one everybody remembers me for is the storyline with Kane and Lita, which was cool because that was my first breakout role. So that was awesome. Dan Madigan, if you're out there listening, you're the man. He's the guy that wrote all that storyline. He did Kane's movie, See No Evil. Great guy, one of my best friends. He is awesome. Check him out. Dan, hopefully you're not listening. I mean, you are listening. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. He did all the storyline for that, came up with all that crazy shit. And yeah, it was fun, man. It was a good 2-year stretch there. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good matches. I actually won my first pay-per-view match on my mom's birthday, so that was cool.
Awesome. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Brought her home one of the pay-per-view chairs. She has it in the living room at the house. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Do people ask you about the baby quite a bit?
Yeah. Just like every day.
The best thing is when you go to one of his events and people show up with their own babies for him to sign.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying whether it's real or fake babies. I'm just saying they bring babies for him to sign. You can
like those are like little dolls they bring for you.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It kind of took off and just had a life of its own. But literally, I'm not exaggerating. My wife will tell you, every single day of my life, I get it's not my fault probably 5 to 10 times every day. Yeah. It's crazy. You know what's cool though, as a performer, to have something that you've done resonate so much with fans is so cool. Because I'll be dead and gone, and people will still be like, "You remember that crazy motherfucker that kicked that baby? God damn it, that was fucking great." It's just crazy to me that people remember that kind of stuff.
Gene and I had an idea years and years ago, and I'm still not over it, and I still want to do it after COVID is done. That one day, after all the years, if it's not my fault, that we actually run all this paperwork and do everything. We go through thousands of things, paperwork, scientific diagrams, everything out, and we find out it actually is his fault. And then the entire thing is Gene goes apologizing. He's like, "Want to let you know it is my fault." Maybe it's a barrister that gets yelled at at Starbucks. Maybe it's at a restaurant. But we'll go through all the science shit. How great would that be? Sorry, yes. Science says it was my fault. I apologize.
Well, I don't know. Lita and I had a segment on Raw, and she kind of confirmed that it wasn't my fault. So, just saying.
Not
I had a
the same.
goatee at the time, and if I remember correctly, I don't want to be rude to my wife, but she kind of grabbed me by the goatee and like laid a kiss on the lips. I mean, I am hard to resist, and the beard is kind of awesome, but I mean, it did happen. There's video proof of it. Go on WWE Network. It's there.
He's not wrong. Ahoy, hoy.
And if I'm not mistaken, I felt a little tongue. I'm just saying. She couldn't help it.
Oh. Lita's lawyer just texted me. Just weird shit.
My wife's giving me dirty looks. I think I'm in the doghouse now.
What's that sound? That sounds like a sharpening stone on a blade. Weird.
No, she just has the baseball bat waiting for me. She's going to lock me back down in the basement when I'm done.
Uh-oh. Swing batter.
Some straps down the steps. Here you go.
So I presume you still watch wrestling? Do you have any favorite wrestlers? Any?
Actually, I like Braun Strowman. Believe it or not, a lot of people are like, you know, oh, are you his brother or are you his dad? I'm like, no, I'm not that old. Jesus. But no, it's cool, man. Like I said, as a performer, it's cool to be remembered. And I mean, I haven't been on WWE television programming since the end of 2008. So
right.
If my math is correct, which I think it might be, that's a whopping 12 years.
The answer is L.
So to be, 12 years after being on TV, to still be talked about, to be doing these fabulous interviews like this with you two fine young men is, quite flattering, because a lot of people 12 years after they haven't performed on WWE television, nobody gives two shits about them and nobody knows who they are when they walk down the street. But I'll guarantee you, when I walk down the street, everybody notices me and knows that I've, kicked babies and beat people up and, you're running the mill stuff.
And he's great about it too. In the 15 years that I've known Gene, he doesn't even cross his eyes and go, "Hey, dude, you kick any baby stage?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you bet for his." Meanwhile, I'm even like, "Yeah, he's never heard that." Not my fault.
Yeah, it's funny. Ironically, today at the shop there was these guys, and they're like, "Hey, I was watching your video on WWE Network, and man, was that funny when you kicked that baby?" I was like, "Yeah, the little bastard deserved it." And they're like, "But I thought it was a fake baby." I'm like, "Hell no!" I had them going. I'm like, people are so gullible. It's funny.
Do you remember the reaction after that night? What kind of reactions were you getting from people in person? What did that feel like, or what unfolded that night that you remember?
Well, with wrestling, everybody knows that it's either really good to get booed really much or get cheered really much. So after I did that, out of the corner of my ear, I heard a chant starting, "Baby killer," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Because if something like that happens, it's going to kind of take off. So that was kind of cool. And nobody had ever heard of me or seen me before. Like, you got to remember, I didn't even get announced. I was just kind of there in the ring waiting for Kane to come out.
Right.
And they all thought I was going to get, squashed or whatever. And lo and behold, there goes the chair in the Kane's back, and there goes Kane on the Lita. And next thing you know, she's having a miscarriage, and they're at the hospital, and, all that good stuff. And, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, she shouldn't have been in the ring, so it's not my fault.
We have a question from Chairman Lai. Did Snitsky like the Battle Royals format or the one-on-one better?
Honestly, I like the one-on-one better. I was never a big fan of the Battle Royals because there's so many guys stuffed in the ring. And now they're like, 40 guys they're doing now? Something like that? It's crazy. Like, there's no room in the ring to begin with. And when you're a bigger guy and there's 29 or 30 other guys in there, it's like, I'd rather just one-on-one and perform as a character and do my thing and have the psychology of a match, as opposed to like random guys just running up and punching each other, and then you hide in the corner for a while, and then you do something and you hide in the corner for a while. I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's just not as exciting and entertaining to do something like that,
And so thank you, Chairman Lai, for that question. And again, if you're watching, if you shared this, you've been entered into the drawing we're going to be doing for some of the Janus coffee, bourbon barrel aged. I love this stuff. I love what Shad and the group do with the Wyoming coffee beans there at Janus. It's going to be drawn here in about 20 minutes.
Oh,
so we got a lot this year, and we'll put you in the drawing, and a lot of fun prizes we give away. So go ahead and like and share this video. I see another question here, Snitsky. What was when you were getting into wrestling? What was your big break? I mean, how'd you get where you are?
Well, I trained at the Wild Samoan Pro Wrestling Training Camp in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and basically every day worked with Samu, Lloyd, Alpha Jr., and who we lovingly call Pops, who was Alpha Senior. He was one half of the Wild Samoans, who are WWE Hall of Fame wrestlers, and he took me under his wing and he helped me out a lot. And his sons obviously helped me out a lot. My very first wrestling tour was with Samu and Lloyd over throughout the Middle East and Southeast Asia, Hawaii. We were all over the place. I was fortunate enough to get a really cool first tour. I was at the pyramids. I rode a camel at the pyramids. I saw the Sphinx. We were in Hawaii. I was at Guam. I got a cool Gold's Gym Guam shirt. And I collect shirts everywhere I go, so it was kind of cool. And that was just man, I kept thinking to myself, man, this is great. What a way to break into the business. And I think I was making a whopping $100 a day at the time, and we were out for about 28 days, something like that. And man, I'll tell you what, to this day, it was probably still the best tour ever and the most fun. Me and Lloyd and Hawaii, we joke around about all the time, just the goofy shit that we did on the tour and the people that we met. And man, it was so much fun.
Awesome. And that is how it happened. You were at it for how many years? You were at it for a number of years, weren't you?
About 3.5 till I got signed with WWE.
Wow.
Yeah. Started with them in 2000, I think it was 2001, something like that. And then May of 2004, I got signed, but I didn't move to Louisville till June. And then, because Louisville was still a training camp at the time, OVW, but now they're down in Florida with the big, 7-8 rings place and all that. At the time I was training, it was one ring, and you had about probably 30 guys working out in one ring and doing drills. And I worked with Bill DeMott a lot. He helped all the bigger guys, and Lance Storm, the smaller guys. And, it was just great, man. It was I was just a sponge, man, learning all new techniques and new, psychology and stuff, and just the way WWE wanted to do things. So it was fun, man. It was just a whole new, experience. And Louisville was great. Unfortunately, it's, crazy there right now. But Louisville's a cool town. Had a lot of good times there, a lot of good memories. Met a lot of cool people that I still keep in touch with. I was just talking to Shelton Benjamin today a little bit. Actually, I messaged him to get another guy's number that I lost when I got my new phone. So he's doing very well right now. And just very fortunate, man. Very fortunate to have given the opportunity and ran with it. I mean, they could have handpicked anybody to do that, and they picked me. So, it's pretty cool.
That is great. No, and we're really close to Louisville where I live, and so I really enjoy Louisville a lot as well. What you were, was it early 2000s? When were you in Louisville then?
2004. I was fortunate, man. I got signed in June, and I started on TV in September, and then I moved back to Pennsylvania in December. So it all went pretty fast for me, I got to admit. A lot of guys were there 2, 3, 4 years. I got in and got out. But always great memories. We'd always do the shows on Wednesday night at the Davis Arena there, and then shoot over to either Hooters or another local Steak and Shake or something to eat after the show, and everybody would hang out. It was fun, man. It was a good group of guys. Like I said, a lot of us all still keep in touch. And Matt Morgan was there, Shelton, Lashley, Davari, I still keep in touch with, Charlie Haas. Yeah, I mean, there was endless talent, man. We had so much talent back then. It was just a good time. And all the guys, we worked well together. It was just fun, man. It was a fun time. You're getting paid to train and work out. I mean, how do you beat that?
No, absolutely. That's So did you become a bigger fan of bourbon whiskey when you were in Louisville? Did that?
I what the heck was I drinking back then? I think I was more of a Red Bull and vodka guy back then.
All right.
Yeah. That was my drink of choice on the wrestling deals. We'd always go out. Got to give a shout out to Mike Chioda, man. Mike Chioda was with WWE referee for 30 plus years. They kind of gave him the shaft, and he ended up at AEW. So I'm happy for Mike. He's a great guy from Jersey, fellow East Coaster. He's one of a kind, man. Him and I traveled the world together several times and had a blast doing it. And can't say enough things about Mike, man. He's the man.
Absolutely. And you and Matty, how did you guys meet? You and Matty?
Craigslist. Yeah.
You met on Craigslist. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
He's the one who responds. It's tall, dark, and creepy. It's not my fault he was disappointed and he was taller than me. It's irrelevant. But,
it was the Kangol hat. It was the Kangols. I always wanted a Kangol.
So I was always kind of like a behind-the-scenes guy. I would do just regular promo stuff, and I knew that he smoked cigars. So lo and behold, one day, I always followed it. I always enjoyed watching him in the ring. And lo and behold, one day he's like, "I know you," and he's like, "You caused some shit in one of the locker rooms or something." One day, I'm like, "I know you mostly because you're much larger than me, and I could not know you." So we had a good laugh at that. And shit, we're talking 14 years ago, dude. Long time.
Something like that. It's been a while, man. But yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's one of those guys that, like, he has a bit of a background in athletics too. He did the kickboxing stuff and all that kind of stuff. So we clicked just from the athletic side of it, talking about working out and all that kind of stuff. And then you throw in the cigars and the wrestling, and he's just a larger than life character like I am. So it just clicked.
Love you, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah. And we have one joke that was common. We won't name the fighter that I was training, but the joke was he's like, oh, these wrestling guys. He's like, it's a joke. It's all bullshit. And I was like, bro, let me explain something to you. And Gene knows I've stepped into a wrestling ring a few times. I'd rather get kicked in the head just 3 or 4 times a year, because that's when you're fighting. That's how many matches you have. I'm like, the grounded pound that you get for 300 plus days a year. And then guess what? See, like me, I'd be like, oh, I might have dislocated my shoulder. Like, all right, we'll put your fight 90 days out. If you said this to Vince, hey, Vince, I dislocated my shoulder. I don't know if you need to put gum on it or something. You're fine. Just go. You're good. Go. And dude,
or they find somebody else to do it real quick.
And you fight. And I literally remember, like, they're like, oh, this is planned and that's planned. I'm like, let me promise you, the one and only time I tried, not off the top rope, off the second rope, Matty, you can flip, right? Yeah, try a moonsault. He's like, okay. So I literally hit the ground and I bounced. Not a little bounce, like a basketball bounce. So literally I'm looking up at the lights, begging people to not touch me for 20 minutes. That was one move. The second move, Gene knows too. So when you do Muay Thai, the most important thing, right, is your balance. You're firm, you're on the ground. Okay, there's a really nice ring that nobody tells you about a wrestling ring until you go in it. So one of the first things they teach you when you wrestle is to run the ropes. Yeah, that didn't really work out well at all. Every time I tried to run the ropes, I was literally falling down, rolling into the corner. So when everyone goes, hey, how come you won't do wrestling? Fuck that. Kick me in the head, punch me in the face. Then when I'm done, I can go. I'm like, I would cry trying to do 320 days that a year. I couldn't do it. My body wouldn't be able to hold up. So I tell everybody, I'm like, is the outcome predetermined? Sure. I'm like, but when I promise you what these dudes do, you have no freaking idea. I would tell anybody, go, just try to train. Just give yourself 2 weeks in there, see how you feel when you come out. And if you're not crying, maybe you have it in you to be a professional wrestler. I was like, nope, I'm a pussy. I cannot do that. I'm like,
it's definitely a different experience. Like, you can't really quantify it unless you do it. Like Matty just said, like, people watch us do it and we're so good at it that it looks flawless and easy. And just running the ropes, man, it's hard. Like, just to get the timing of the steps and to hit the ropes right and to do it full speed. I mean, I'll challenge anybody that thinks they could do it to try it. And I'll guarantee you, they're probably going to end up making a fool out of themselves, because I did when I first tried it. And I had bruises on my ribs, on my side, on my back. I mean, those ropes they hurt.
Badly.
It's not as soft and padded and cushiony as everybody thinks it is.
And if you're not hitting the rope at exactly the precise time, you actually do bounce. And if your feet, like I said, for me, where planting your feet was the most important thing on the planet, well, you're trained the exact opposite. Feel the floor under you, understand how it moves, go with it. So someone like me, every time I hit those ropes, just like Gene said, bruises and roll around and fall on the floor until you roll to the other side. They're like, how's that going? I'm like, nope. They're like, oh yeah, but you have a really good persona. You'd be great. Nope.
Well, that was after we did the 1,000 squats. We do 1,000 squats, then we get in the ring and run the ropes. Then after you ran the ropes, then you'd have to do turnbuckles, and we'd shoot each other off to the turnbuckles. Then after that, you'd finally learn how to bump, and that's where you fall down. And then you start at the bottom rope, you'd hold it and fall backwards. Learn how to do it from the first rope. Then you go up to the second rope, then to the third rope. Now, mind you, this is all after 1,000 squats, running the ropes, and turnbuckles. So it's a quick way to weed people out.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, the amount of pain that you will be in, that's how you're able to separate who can do it and who can. And like I said, my favorite part is you're not doing it for X amount of days a week. 300, I mean, there's some guys, right, with house shows, Gene, almost, 320. Just think about the wear and tear in your body, 320 friggin' days a year. I'm like,
it's amazing.
Well, that's the problem. Like, most people don't realize the travel aspect of it. So, you're not only performing, you got to find a rental car, you got to drive to the next town, find a hotel, find a gym, find somewhere to eat that's still open. There's a lot of logistics to it. It's not just like, hey, show up at Monday Night Raw and perform on live TV. There's a lot more to it. And that's what people don't realize. They just see the TV show and they think, man, these guys got the most glamorous travel, the most this, the most that. And it's not really how it is. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But don't get me wrong, man. I love doing it. I've always loved doing it. I love entertaining. I love, getting reactions out of people. And, it suited my personality just perfect because I was always the guy when I was in school, younger. And, people be like, hey, I dare you to do this. Okay. They never had to really push me to do much. I'd always be the guy that would do something just to do it. So back in high school, we used to tack people. We had these tacks, and we'd wait till somebody went to sit down, and we put the tacks on their seat. Oh man, we used to get so many guys with that.
Well, you still happy?
Good old Panther Valley. What's up, PV?
Now, as you talk about the pain, was there anything that ever happened that you felt the most pain from as you talk about the all of it?
The broken orbital bone wasn't fun. The broken ribs that John Cena gave me wasn't fun. Thanks, John. Love you too. They're probably the two worst because I couldn't see straight out of my left eye for about 3 weeks. That sucked. The ribs, obviously you break a rib every time you move, cough, sneeze, take a deep breath. Hurts like a mother. They're probably the two worst. I had a blood clot one time in my lower abdomen. That sucked. Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of stuff like that. Like, nothing major, but nothing like to where you could just be like, throw some tape on it. Like, you knew it was there every single time. Like, I broke my orbital bone and I didn't miss any time. I went to Raw the next week and did a run-in and clothesline Randy Orton outside the ring. Like, I didn't miss any time. And I had the freaking broken eye bone.
Yep.
This is how it works.
Pinky hurts. You're on the IL, right?
Dude, they'd have to kill me to get me out of anything, even in sports, in high school and football. Like, I played my whole senior year at Missouri with a torn labrum in my shoulder, and I didn't give a shit. I was like, screw it.
Yep. And for those you don't know, he's Mr. Modest, but you might want to take a look at what Gene did it over at Mizzou, guys. So, all-around athlete.
Yeah, actually, now that you mentioned it, I did get inducted into the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame back in what year was that, babe? 18, I think, 17 or 18, something like that. Yeah, that was cool.
You call me babe. Well, I'm coming over there. We have to talk. It just hurts. It just hurts hearing it.
But yeah, so that was basically, I don't want to say my crowning achievement, but very, very high on the list of achievements, man. That was like, I puffed up my chest a little bit because now I'm like a 2-time Hall of Famer. I'm in the WXW Hall of Fame inaugural class, and I'm in the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. And not too many people could say that, so it's kind of cool.
Well done. A question coming, and again, you're watching Bourbon Blog Live. If you're not already subscribed on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, subscribe to wherever you're watching or bookmark this now. I think we have a question from Chairman Lai. Did you ever choke out Matty, and why? If not, it's not never too soon for an Instagram moment.
Nah, no, Matty's my boy, man. I would never choke him out, not on purpose, anyways.
See, Rich, I don't know why you want to see me hurt all the time, Lai. We're gonna have to talk to him.
Yeah, what's up with that? Matty's a good guy. Why would we want to hurt Matty?
He wouldn't want that to happen, of course.
Yeah, bro. Serious.
Oh, we appreciate all the questions, and if you have any more for Snitsky, do ask them below. It's great to have everybody watch, and again, just a few minutes from now, we'll be picking that winner of the coffee. Like, share the video. That's how it happens to get entered in. So many great people watching tonight. You know, it almost seems, is it just me, or is it wrestlers really do enjoy cigars, or somehow Matty has turned a lot of them onto cigars? Which is it?
Probably
every time he's come to conventions with me, he's always passing them out, but I think they're mostly to guys that already smoke. Like, I've introduced them to Booker T. I think Booker already smoked when he met up with Matty.
Yeah, Booker's like, you got them undercrowns? I'm like, I do have those undercrowns. And I remember
a lot of the boys already smoke cigars, so like Matty was just like the icing on the cake, because, you know, you get all of Matty and you get the cigars, and, you know, kind of all gels together well.
You know, man, after, like I said, you're getting your ass trounced 320 days a year. Cigar's a nice thing after you're done, just friggin' stick.
Oh, yeah.
And like Jesus Rikishi. So Rikishi and I would talk about it. He's like, you know, man, after a match, Bruce, I just want to sit back, do nothing, pop a cigar, and he's happy. We had Sags on Gene a couple of weeks ago, and same thing.
He's a Pennsylvania guy. He grew up like a half an hour from where I did. Whitehall, Pennsylvania, the Zephyrs.
Wow.
Yeah. Used to go school shopping there back in the day in Whitehall. That's where the hot spots were. Go get your school sneakers and your jeans and all that kind of stuff down at the Nestor's Sporting Goods on the main drag there. What the hell was it? Anyways, yeah, that was like the big trip. Let's go to Allentown school shopping. That's funny.
All right, and Gene, for everybody out there who's not already following you, give them your Twitter, your IG, and your Facebook so they can give a follow.
Twitter is the big Gene Snitsky. That's verified. My Instagram is the real Snitsky. I'm not verified there, but I don't need to be, so just check it out. You'll know it's me. And Facebook, most of the time I don't really do anything with fans or nothing on Facebook. I keep that kind of to my personal stuff. But if you've met me or have seen me at the shop, hit me up on Facebook. Otherwise, I probably won't even look at it, to be honest with you. I kind of try to keep the wrestling stuff to Twitter and Instagram. Right. But, yeah. And you can also follow the film, 100 Acres of Hell, on Twitter. I believe it's on Instagram as well. And the website, like I said, 100acresofhell.com. Check out the trailer. Let me know how you like it. Give me some feedback. Let me know your thoughts.
And hit them with
come
the
by the shop. If anybody's in the area, Priority 1 Surplus, Hamburg, Pennsylvania, 1744 Tilden Ridge Drive, Hamburg, PA. I'm pretty much there all the time. Stop by, say hello. I will never pass up an autograph or a picture. Like I said earlier, I love all my fans, even the crazy ones that, like, you know.
Any crazy fan stories? Any or just fun or crazy fans? Either of those?
Nothing that really stands out in my head. I mean, you get the people that come into the shop now because they've seen my special on WWE Network, and we did some filming at the shop. We did some filming here at the house. They filmed us working out and like four-wheeling and stuff. So, you know, you just get you can tell who they are too. They come in the shop and they're just kind of looking at you. And then, like, you say hi to them and you move on, and then they're still kind of standing there looking at you like, you know, deer in the headlights kind of thing. So it's not hard to notice them.
And
but it's cool.
And you sell bear mace. I mean, it's all good.
Well, what's really weird, and I gotta say, is like it creeps me out a little bit that everybody knows what I drive now because my truck was on the WWE Network special. So like I have people that come into the shop, they're like, "Oh, I saw your truck out there. I knew you were here. I wanted to come in and say hi." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, that's kind of weird, but it's all good. Like I said, I love my fans, so if it's the little bit of happiness for their day to come in and say hi and shake my hand and take a picture, well then hell, happiness is what we're doing.
That's right. We all need that right now, especially. We appreciate you giving us some happiness tonight. We all need that.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's a crazy world out there, but you got to treat everybody like you want to be treated, and that's what I try to live by. I try to treat people nice until they give me a reason not to, and then, then I'm not nice. But.
And then speaking of crazy world out there with COVID and everybody, so as you guys already know, Tom is usually on the road almost as much as Whistler is. So these days you can get a hold of Tom to do virtual tastings, virtual events. Tom, I'll let you take it there. Let him preach the gospel of bourbon.
Absolutely. And again, a few people ask, what am I trying tonight? It's a little Peerless single barrel, and of course, whether it's the Peerless or other whiskeys, we are doing virtual tastings right now. Definitely bookmark this link, BourbonBlog.com/@home. We're doing some virtual tastings. Make sure you hit us up there so that you can join in on one of our virtual tastings. We can even send the whiskeys to you or drop me a line at tom@bourbonblog.com. And I'm going to do my camera got there. We go. Okay, now it's getting adjusted. Oh, hello there. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
This is my gorgeous wife, Carolyn.
Hey, Matty.
Look at those guns. I told you I got to keep up with her.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, if I challenge her to a fight and she says yes, then just run.
She's awesome.
Never, Matty. We love you.
They say behind every great man is a greater woman, and she's definitely greater. She takes care of me. She runs the Snitsky household. She takes care of Snitsky. She is definitely one in a trillion, zillion, gazillion. She's
never seen you happy, dog.
I do. It's great to have you there too. I see one question we might have addressed a little bit earlier, but it's from, I think he just joined us, my good friend from LA, Russ Weekland. I know he's a big fan of Snitsky and of WWE. Question for Snitsky again: has it ever been your fault? And if so, when has it been your fault?
I think my wife could answer that.
No. No.
That's the beauty of the catchphrase. I always tell people it's the perfect catchphrase. It works in every situation, no matter what.
It always works. Russ, thanks for watching from LA. All right.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, checking out Snitsky and these guys in our triple screen.
Thank you, Snitsky. It's great to have. Okay, we have we're going to do this as we always do. We've assigned some random numbers. Snitsky, pick a number between 1 and 18, please.
15.
All right, number 15. And again, it's for whoever retweeted or shared on Facebook. Okay, that is Tim Lasley. Tim, you are the winner of the Janus Coffee. All right, Tim. Janus Coffee, bourbon barrel roasted, and thanks, Chad and Janus Coffee. We'll get your information, Tim. Thank you all so much for watching, and this has been a lot of fun, Snitsky, and great to see your lady there too. It's great to have you as well, Matty, joining us from Atlantic City. So nice to see. Great back. How's it feel there in Atlantic City outside? Does it feel really nice?
Scary.
Matty, who's our guest next week?
Man, let me tell you something. It's going to be Mr. Pedro Gomez, bro. The Presidente, the Mayor of Esteli, bro. So anybody who knows Drew Estate knows our boy Pedro. So tune in next week, guys. See the man with the plan, Mr. Pedro Gomez, bro.
Pedro Gomez. Watch us next week. And again, if you want to see that movie Snitsky's in, see how you can find it. It's 100acresofhell.com. Perfect time to watch it. All the Halloween movies. It's that season. So if you're wanting the perfect Halloween movie and to see our friend Snitsky, watch that movie and follow Snitsky on That's social media right there. Snitsky, such a pleasure having you. Thank you for joining us. It means a lot, man.
No, my pleasure, fellas. Thanks for inviting me on. I love talking about Snitsky, so we're good. But listen up, guys.
Yes.
On a serious note, thanks to all my fans out there that have supported me over the years. Thanks for checking out the film if you've already checked it out. Thanks for shopping at the business if you shopped with us. And stay safe and healthy out there. I know the crazy world we're living in now, but
That's right.
you know, can't thank my fans enough for making all my dreams come true, and my wife for making my biggest dream come true, because I always wanted a 6'1" blonde that's jacked. So she's awesome.
Awesome.
I was 6'3", but just because I'm fluffy now and I'm not jacked.
But yeah, seriously, guys, thank you so much for having me on. I love interacting with the fans, and all the guys that sent in questions and comments and stuff. Thank you. And Matty's a special breed. He's a great guy.
Yes.
And he'll give you the shirt off his back. Hopefully you don't need it because he's a hairy son of a gun. But
blood paralysis, bro. It's amazing.
But I love you, Matty. You're the man. Appreciate all you did for me over the years. Thanks for the sticks.
Come see you guys real soon. Much love.
Cheers, y'all. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Have a great night out there in the wonderful wild world of web.
Yeah, that's right.
Solid.
Cheers, y'all.